In this lesson, we will be looking at group policy software installation as a deployment method for deploying applications. Now, there are two methods for making programs available to end users using group policy. The first method is assigning the software to the users or the computers. And the second method is publishing the software to the users. Before we make the files available to the users, we need to put those files on our file server. We need to create a file share on the file server that includes the installation files for that piece of software or application that we want to deploy to the users. We also have to make sure that we give the user access to that shared folder. And the access that we should give that user, the least access, is read access to the shared folder that contains the installation files for the application that we want to deploy. Let us first look at assigning the software application. We can assign a software application both to users and to computers. When an application is assigned, the icon for that application is made available on the start menu. That is when the user logs on to the computer. In the start menu, the user will see the application icon for the application that needs to be deployed. When the user clicks on that icon, if that program has not yet been installed on the local computer, the application will automatically be accessed from the server where you have the share, and it will be installed to the computer. So we have the application being assigned to the user. When the user logs on, the user will see the program icon and click on it, application again will be installed. What about if the application is assigned to the computer? Well, if we assign the application to the computer, any user who logs on to that particular computer will have access to the application icon, and they will be able to install it if the user did not previously install that application. The user will be prompted for any required setup information before the program first runs. Now, generally, if you have lots of users, you should assign the application to the computer because this reduces the amount of network bandwidth required to install applications on demand, and it also improves the end user experience. An application can also be published to a user. When we assign the application, we can assign it to both computer and to user. But when we publish the application is published to the user. But in this case, no icons are automatically created. Instead, the application will be made available to the user using the program and features icon in control panel. So when the user needs to publish an application, the user is going to have to open control panel, go to programs and features, and the user will then see the name of that application, and the user will install the application from programs and features. We're going to take a look at the steps that we would take to assign an application or publish an application to a user or a computer. We're going to be assigning an application using group policy. So we want to click on Tools, Group Policy Management. We want to expand the forest, expand domains, and we want to expand adatom.com. In adatom.com, we have an organizational unit that we created called Software Deployment. And this organizational unit has the users to whom we wish to deploy the software. So we're going to right click on the software deployment OU, and we're going to create a group policy object by clicking create a GPO in this domain and link it here. We're going to call the group policy object software application. And we're going to click OK to close the new GPO dialog box. When we want to expand the organizational unit, and we can see here that we have the GPO software application. We want to edit this group policy object by right-clicking on the group policy object and clicking on Edit. We're going to click on Computer Configuration, Policies, Software Settings. We want to expand Software Settings and right-click on Software Installation and say New Package. We now need to look for the package that was shared on the network. And remember that this package will have the installation files for the application. So we click on All Files, Lab Files, MOD 05, and here we see the application that we want, XML notepad.msi. This is the application. Remember that the folder should be shared and the user given access to the folder that has the application files. So we want to click on the application and we want to select Open. Now you see a message here telling you cannot verify path is a network location. If this package is not available from a network share, clients will not be able to install it. Are you sure you want to deploy this package using this path? Remember that when you are deploying the package, it must be done from a network share. For our purposes for this lab, we're going to go ahead and we're going to say yes here. In the Deploy Software dialog box here, we want to click on Advanced. And I want to click on OK. Now let's double click here on software installation to look at the properties of that installation. And we see here the installation file, XML Notepad 2007 properties. And when we right click on that file and go to properties, or we could double click on the software installation node that we saw there, we're going to get the properties. We want to take a look at the properties. Here on the General tab, we see that we have the name of that MSI file, we have the product version, we have the language, and we have the platform. Let us click on the Deployment tab. On the Deployment tab, you see that we have the deployment type, whether you publish or assigned, and we are using assigned. You also have some deployment options. Auto install this application by file extension activation. Uninstall this application when it falls out of the scope of management. Do not display this package in the Add Remove Programs control panel. Install the application at logon. We also have installation user interface options, basic or maximum. Let's next click on the Upgrades tab. And here, packages that this program will upgrade. And if there are any upgrades, we can actually add them here. Let's click on the Categories tab. If the application has categories, you will see the available categories here, and it would be the categories under which the application would be listed in the Add Remove Programs, which is now the Programs and Features node in Control Panel. Click on Modification. You have modification or transforms, allow you to customize the package and are applied to the package in the order shown in the following list. So if you have a transform file, you can add it here. Transform file is a file where you will make changes or modifications. Then we want to click on the Security tab. And from the Security tab, we can add a particular user or group, and we can set permissions for that user or group. We're going to click Cancel to close out the property box for that MSI file. And we want to click here on Software Settings and open up the software installation folder so we can actually look at the MSI file again. See here we have XML Notepad 2007, and that is the file that we would have assigned to the user. We now want to close the Group Policy Management Editor. And in this session, we've looked at the options for assigning and publishing, and we went through the steps that we would use to assign an MSI file using Group Policy to users within the domain. This is the end of our session. I want to thank you for listening.